floating around that are sort of interesting to take a look at, but I don't know if they're at that point yet where we're really feeling like they're challenging the top. And this result from Mindfreak, as you mentioned yesterday, that win that they got, actually might be the start of something that we can actually talk about for months and years to potentially come. So anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's time for us to jump into the game and focus in on what is happening in the server. We've got Mindfreak and Rooster, and things are going to be kicking off on Anubis. The map choice of Mindfreak, where they'll start on CT side. So I suppose the chips are down. Pilsky, we'll see if they can do it again and if they can get another upset over Rooster.
Yeah, interesting note as we get these initial couple of shots. Actually, we're going to hold that thought because we've got Mindfreak with a 3-man setup in towards A main here. Rooster just holding around the map here on the T side, waiting for action through E-box and A main, and that has been punished by ASAP. Both him and nettik have been standouts for Rooster. Kind of 2v5 carrying the team, which was definitely not the case last year, although they were both statistically solid. Rooster was looking a lot more well-rounded than they've looked in this qualifier. And now we get a bit more of pressure towards B as a bit of a B split comes in. ASAP's lurking through A main.
Already an okay start for Mindfreak, with Supar being able to get that one onto nettik, who's always a dangerous player. Danger in there as well for one more, but the trades are good enough to keep Rooster with the advantage that they've kind of found off of the initial opener and continue to snowball throughout the pistol. That's 1-0 for Rooster. I don't know about you, Pilsky, but I have to say, I think today's going to be pretty difficult for Mindfreak. Rooster feels like, to me, one of those teams that, yeah, they can get upset every now and then. Yeah. But once they do get upset, it's a bit of a reality check, and then they're back to their usual selves pretty quick.
100%. Rooster has a silly mode and a serious mode. And the silly mode has definitely seemed like it's been active because one of the silly things that they do in a lot of these Oceanic competitions, and we'll just talk about it through this anti-eco, is they play with subs. They don't all rock up to the games sometimes. And that's something that they did actually do in the RMR qualifiers. They weren't playing with chelleos, I think it was. So I think, honestly, they might have had a bit of a sleepy start to the year. And now they're getting back used to playing with their full roster again. They get upset in the early stages of the tournament. It's something that can happen to this team. But their peak, their ceiling is very, very scary and is something that I think as they get more reps in, they get more comfortable. Not sure if this is a dead round. It's looking like it. That, you know, they're definitely going to be a team where if they hit their stride, Mindfreak shouldn't even be able to take a map off of them, let alone a whole series. And looking at least at this first map, we do have... same opening map this time around as the last series between these two teams. It was Mindfreak to pick it and Mindfreak to win the game 13-10. Mostly predicated off of strong T sides from both teams. 7-5 for Rooster, followed by 8-3 on Mindfreak's T side once they switch sides into the second half. So we'll keep that in the back of our heads as we watch the rest of this game unfold. Obviously, this is going to be probably a tech pause into a round reset or something like that. And if we can get our hands on the veto, we'll maybe talk about what the rest of the maps will look like and whether it is just going to be a copy-paste veto of the last time around. But yeah, we'll see Rooster how good of a T side they can have for themselves against Mindfreak CT, because they were obviously able to get 5 together last time around and be able to follow it with their own strong T side. There we go. We do have the veto. So let's just talk through that quickly because we are going to get a match reset anyway. Rooster, ban Ancient, Vertigo. So the same bans and different first pick for Rooster. Last series they picked Inferno, which they actually won, but this time they've opted to change up their pick into Mirage, which I believe we saw yesterday between Mindfreak and Greyhound, did we not? And it wasn't particularly awe-inspiring result. Oh no, we got Nuke Ancient. That must have been a BNK game. And then to polish things off, we'll finish off with Overpass, which Mindfreak actually won. So in theory, the only difference in this veto is Rooster's pick is going to be Inferno instead of... Mirage instead of Inferno. And the first and third maps are the same. And the first and third maps are the same maps that Mindfreak won in the upper bracket series. So I think that's important to keep in mind if you want to try to craft another narrative of, oh, Mindfreak could upset this series. Because they definitely could. They've got the same maps they won last time.
Yeah, but the question is, will it be the same Rooster that they're going up against? And like I said earlier, I'm not sure that that will be necessarily the case. I'm sure Rooster would like to have a crack at Greyhound, who, to be honest, looked a little bit susceptible last night as well. And so if Rooster can maybe find their footing, roll on with the momentum that they gain out of this game. I think there's an argument to be made that maybe that next game, the grand final, could be an interesting one. But I've been there before. I've said it so many times, and then Greyhound usually ends up winning anyway. So we'll hold that conversation for a little bit. Not really too much to touch on out of that round. Obviously, Mindfreak just with their pistols, unable to really get a whole lot of inroads done. 1 kill, a little loss for Rooster, but by and large, not a major concern.
I think these are the issues sometimes with things like tech pauses, and it's happened to me as well when I've coached teams in the past. You know, you take a tech pause and one team can see your setup. I mean, I know it's only anti-eco, but Rooster's able to run into B for free and all this stuff, and then immediately in that last round, they don't really default. They just go straight into B, and it was a bridge stack. So, something that Rooster were able to keep an eye on this time. First gun round, though. Flash over the top, gonna get a little bit of a push through E-box into water. Duel is lost by Tux though, who had a rifle against the MAC-10. That's gonna be a bit of a sore spot, and it looks like Rooster starting to size up a bit of a B split. They're not in a rush though, and they still do have chelleos on the lurk. There's the drop from Supar to even up the numbers and clear out water for the time being.
Yeah, nettik will be disappointed there that he hasn't been able to dislodge Supar or even do any damage, because the kill there pretty much wins the round for Rooster. But now it's kind of hanging in the balance once again. We do have chelleos just keeping an eye on things over toward the A side of the map. And as you mentioned, the rest of Rooster set up outside of B, waiting quite patiently. There's going to be a pop flash into E-box. Rooster maybe trying to fake the fact that they have another player or two there in water, which will keep Mindfreak looking in that direction.
DPR got some good info towards middle. Chelleos with the progression smoke over on A does actually pull an additional rotate towards that side of the map. And in the meanwhile, Rooster, they still have full utility over here towards B. 2 players to defend here for Mindfreak. Still a Molotov on Danger, so they can segment off E-box and focus on main.
Well, Supar doing a really good job, and Danger is there as always quite comfortably for 1. That'll be more than enough to secure this round, you think, for Mindfreak. They've just got to hold on a little bit longer and allow those rotations to come across, which are in full effect. In fact, Danger's going to push through the smoke there, and that was completely unexpected. And so Rooster will drop the first gun round. Solid one from Mindfreak. 2 nice frags from Supar. It felt like really being the kills that did manage to swing that round back in the favor of Mindfreak, and all of a sudden the storyline changes a little bit again.
Yeah. Interesting that Danger, a player that was playing with Rooster, and a lot of us said they should have kept him back when he was on the active roster, playing as kind of like a stand-in. He was playing quite well, and he didn't play particularly well at the end of 2023, but in this qualifier and the start of 24, he's been pretty fantastic for Mindfreak, and he was the top performer in the upset against Rooster in that upper bracket as well, so a bit of a revenge arc coming in there. Or a player that Rooster decided not to keep. Not that you can really criticize them with how much success they've been able to find without him anyway.
It's true. Well, similar approach from Rooster initially. A lot of the onus is going to be put on the shoulders of nettik to try to make something happen early in the round here, and he's been able to push his way up outside of E-box again. Exact same position that he was finished off in by Supar last round, but on the other side of the coin, Tux again wants to be the enforcer, and this time around flashed outside of B to clear that area of the map.
Mindfreak have got a pretty decent read on what's going on. They've lost water control, they've lost A main, but they've spotted a player deep towards B, so they know that Rooster is defaulting, splitting the map. Now starting to size up a B execute. 3 players on this A side of the map as the contact comes in through E-box. The Molotov is a little mistimed. They've been able to creep all the way out and now take a duel with that player on Ninja, and that's worked perfectly for Rooster. No opportunity for Mindfreak to get anything done there, and unless they can get a pick here pretty soon on the retake, I dare say they may be considering a save.
I'm not sure about that as far as DPR is concerned, and he's able to win a good duel against nettik. Bomb plant hasn't even gone down yet. And
I think someone's disconnected. That's what's happened. Yeah, they've had to go back for the bomb. That's unfortunate.
I was going to say, it looks like Rackham was standing pretty still for a little while there, so that's a little unfortunate for Rooster.
Oh, that is terrible, actually. That disconnect of the player with the bomb in a round where Rooster gets reset and essentially took the site in a 1-for-2 trade. Like, they end up in a 4-on-3. It was a 3-stack towards A for Mindfreak, a very favorable situation for Rooster to close out that gun round and break the CT economy. But unfortunately, because of that disconnect, they aren't able to close that round, and Mindfreak are in a pretty fantastic position now.
Yeah, I saw yesterday that Rooster were having a lot of tech pauses against BNK. I don't know if that was on their end or if it was on BNK's end, but I mean, maybe based on this, Rooster, a couple of tech pauses already, so we'll see. Could be a rough night. That's a very unfortunate one, but definitely still going to be a salvageable half, given that we're only 4 rounds in. Rackham's got the Galil and almost puts it to good use. Nearly gets the better of Forlex, though, just can't quite find that killing blow. He's going to go hunting for more, trying to shoulder around the corner. Util will keep him at bay, and it seems like it's going to be safe enough for Mindfreak at this point in time.
Trapped in A main. Galil really the only dangerous looking weapon here for Rooster. Just a bunch of Glocks on the rest of the boys, and as they've been forced out of A main and a refresh on the smoke is spotted by ASAP, Rooster will choose to start making their way back towards water and E-box. B main in the meanwhile has been taken by Tux, though. He's been confidently finding information in the mid-round. And unfortunately, that's a bit of a mistimed rotation. All of the steps coming into the B site, and Mindfreak will basically just have to set up a net around the site and allow this plant to go down.
Yeah, could get a little awkward, though. We'll see if maybe Rackham can strike with that Galil before it gets too out of ordinary. TJP's been able to at least trade Tux down. It's not really favorable trades for Rooster, but, you know, it's not an unwinnable position for them to be in. Chell's kind of on the lurk around in mid, so he's a long way away from this fight. It won't have any impact at all with that block, you'd think. So it ends up being quite well handled by Mindfreak in the end, but still, Rooster get the one plant down. They get a couple of kills in a round where essentially they were just playing with Glocks. I think that you can kind of consider that a win as far as they're concerned.
I think keep an eye on this game for Rooster's level of performance on the individuals. So far, you know, TJP, Rackham, Chelleos have actually not really been putting up great numbers. All of them sub-1 rating in some of the series we've been seeing. Whereas nettik and ASAP are the 2 highest rated players in the entire competition, above anyone on BNK or Greyhound. So really this team that we say is so well-rounded firepower-wise usually is really being carried by 2 people right now. And I think if they want a chance to not only beat Mindfreak, who upset them last time, but even have a crack at Greyhound, which I think most people would agree last year they looked like they would have the potential to do. We're definitely going to have to see better individual performances from some of the players here. TJP loves to play that mid position and often finds success over there, lurking up through it. But him and ASAP over on the A extremity have both been punished early, end up in an early 3-on-5. In fact, a 2-on-5 now as Supar finds another one over towards middle. That's excellent defense from him. So it's only
What a mess.
chelleos and nettik now.
Yeah, 2 very isolated individuals as well, aren't they? Now it is truly isolation for nettik, and he's dealt with as well. So, okay, I think you're starting to see some of those questions being answered as to whether or not Mindfreak can take this fight to Rooster from day 1 to day 2. Yeah, they had a bit of fortune with Rooster DCing in round number 4, but these last couple of gun rounds have looked pretty solid from Mindfreak, and they are starting to pull ahead in terms of how this game is playing out. So, credit where it's due. Again, a decent start from Mindfreak. Somewhat reminiscent of their game yesterday against Greyhound, where we're at a point early in the game and we're starting to think, okay, this is looking good. Now it's just whether or not they can kind of keep that up for the course of this half.
Once again, Tux looking for info towards B main. He just continues to push this position, continues to find great timings to actually clear that area and find good info. Forlex maybe here towards middle. Starting to be under pressure now. Spots these players trying to run him down. Almost fumbles over the bricks, but manages to get away in time there.
Volley into the mid doors from Forlex. TJP not particularly concerned about that one at the moment. He's just been set up to deal with any re-aggression from Mindfreak here. So already some good map control for Rooster. Does his job pretty well. Puts out a second player as well, and Mindfreak now starting to scramble away from that B bomb site, which has been their tendency over a couple of these rounds.
Yeah, ASAP's applied a lot of A pressure there, and now Rooster with E-box control with a lot of pressure on middle, pulling an additional rotation. It just leaves Tux, who Found B main completely clear earlier on. This time, not able to see absolutely anything as chelleos just bangs his head off through the smoke, and we end up again in a pretty unwinnable retake situation. This wasn't even a full investment for Rooster. Just a couple of hero AKs have done enough to get themselves another T-side gun round here. But that's pretty good news for the Rooster boys. They can pick themselves up some additional rifles. Make good work of what they invested in this round. It's going to be a pretty good economy swing for the T side. And furthermore on from that, I mean, start to actually make this half a little bit better on the T side. Because like I said, it was the T sides of both teams, which is exactly what you'd expect, that were very strong the last time these two teams played on Anubis. So if you let Mindfreak run away too much on this CT side from such a good early start, you could definitely be left to regret it. Because their T side last time was super, super strong.
It's not going to be enough to break the Mindfreak economy, though. So they won't be too perturbed just yet.
Oops, out for DPR. Rooster have definitely been playing a pretty heavy defaulty style, working the map quite heavily. Mindfreak, on the other hand, pretty consistently taking duels and info plays over towards the B side of the map and canal/water. This time, Rooster's going to be the one to change things up. It's a big walk right up the A extremity towards A main. Forlex is right on over there, joined now by Supar. Flash on in, prompts a Molotov in response here from Mindfreak, and in comes the A execute.
Forlex ready and waiting, and he's got Super behind him. Utils being dumped, Molotovs, flashes, smokes, everything. It's worked out for Mindfreak in so much as they've kept Rooster at bay, but Rooster's not going to be held at arm's length for long as they go straight through that smoke. TJP finding the two entries, and even though Super does a good job on the defense, it will not be enough to keep that A site under control of Mindfreak.
Be a save here for the CTs. Still decent enough money to drop a gun over, continue to buy up through this one, but Rooster, after a bit of a shaky start and some ill fortune, starting to work their way into this game. Seeing some good stuff from Supar, who, despite Mindfreak's success so far in this qualifier, has actually kind of been statistically one of the weaker players on the roster. So if he can continue playing this well individually, that could definitely bring up the floor for Mindfreak in terms of the firepower. For a piece here, Rooster, you can see the economy swing. They've got so much cash here on the T side, they're going to be able to buy out the rest of this half. So that really just leaves Mindfreak to see how many more rounds they can string together. If they can get themselves another 5-7 or maybe even do better on the CT side this time around, and they find the same success on the T side, could be another map victory for them.
Instant mid-smoke from TJP. And he's going to head in that direction as well. Just a little flash off the wall for himself. Tries to have a look around the smoke. Doesn't really see too much though. And so it ends up being Mindfreak who, for the moment, have control of the bridge.
It's 3 smokes early on for Rooster, trying to play info denial. Smoke to B main and E box as well as deep into house. Despite that, Mindfreak can still kind of see what's happening over on bridge and are going to be able to trade down utilities. Supar just keeping an eye on what the timing is that Rooster starts to make some moves into middle. That's going to be calmed across, and you start to see a shift in the rotations as a result. Danger on his way back over to mid, and they're going to shift into more of a 2-1-2 compared to the 3-1-1 that they started with. Mindfreak now refreshing some of those smokes over towards E-box and B main as Rooster start to make some moves in the middle of the map.
TJP already feels like he has cleared it out a little bit. They will have heard that flash though. And that will put an element of doubt in the mind of Rooster, who kind of have to clear it again. TJP just shouldering that corner, hasn't really seen too much. And in the meanwhile, the rest of Rooster themselves up for a long take. ASAP's just going to take a dry fight there. This is It's now having to be a little bit more of an awkward situation for Rooster than anticipated. 20 seconds left on the clock. They've got to kill 2 players on long and hope that push in through mid works out as well. Luckily, chelleos is able to find the trade and keep that bomb moving. And of course, there was no real defense in mid. Mindfreak had rotated an extra player over towards B, and that's what's allowed Rooster to get this bomb plant down and find this 2-on-2 post plant. Still winnable though for Mindfreak, and it's on to nettik to hit the headshot onto Danger. One more required, it's DPR. There's chelleos who had 1 HP. And the one-on-one clutch will go into the back pocket of Mindfreak. A bit of a chaotic round in the end, but Mindfreak will walk away the victors.
Sets up play for Supar and 4lex, obviously recognizing that mid control has been taken by Rooster. They don't want to get A split, so instead they choose to fight in A main, challenge the extremity, and end up trading down pretty damn well. Honestly, I'm surprised Supar doesn't double down there and kill chelleos and then cause some real problems for Rooster, who are trying to kick off that mid split. But yeah, Mindfreak, it's just a good read on the situation after losing that mid control. Does wonders for them. Rooster now a chance to reset the CT side economy and try to claim that 7-5 half they got last time around. Little bit of util pressure here from nettik over on the A extremity. But Rooster very clearly setting up for some pressure towards mid util wise, but this is going to be a B timing in the mid round.
A bit of util being expended into mid here from Mindfreak. The pop flashes, you can hear those going on. Supar's being able to clear out the bridge.
DPR needs a pick here. Danger's only got a FAMAS.
DPR's not going to get a pick through that smoke unless he gets extremely lucky. And really, it feels like Danger is kind of isolated on the site. You could see he had way too many angles to cover himself. So that'll end up being a free kill for Rooster. Nice kill, though, from DPR. Brings it back to the 4-on-4, but the end result is still that Rooster have control of the site. And then TJP able to strike as well. Swings the dial in their favor even further.
I don't know about this retake. 4lex is asking to get sent in, but if they lose all of their guns here, they won't be able to replace them. Supar creeping in on the flank now here, Jordan.
Let's see if the flash is any good. There it is. Hasn't quite worked out for 4lex. He got 1, but that's not enough. And considering Supar also fell, any thoughts of a retake should well and truly be gone. DPR, he's not going to be able to hold on to this off either. Might kill TJP, but even if he does, Chell was running down to try and catch up to him as well. And that is 5 apiece for Rooster with the money broken on the behalf of Mindfreak.
That's huge. Definitely a chance here now for Rooster to claim that 7-5 half yet again. Could have even been better, honestly, if they had just not missed that reset window due to the disconnect. That B round definitely should have gone their way. This could have been an even more dominant T-side half from Rooster, has to be said. Bit of a force from some of the players here. A couple of them holding on to some extra cash for the next round. DPR looking for a rifle in round 12 should things go awry. And Rooster picking up the pace, recognizing just how much emphasis Mindfreak has been switching over towards middle, over towards B, but the Deagles are connecting. This is a man advantage situation for Mindfreak now.
How long is that going to last, though? There's one player holding on to this A site at this point in time, and Supar, well, he wants to make his presence known. And also, in danger of getting his head locked off. There's another good shot onto nettik, but he's firing back as well. 1 for 1. Mindfreak won't mind that. ASAP stabilizing with that kill, but he'll lose his life to the nade as well. It doesn't seem like Rooster are finding it easy to get through this round at all. Danger's picked up the MAC-10. chelleos doesn't seem to know exactly where Danger is either. And you almost get the sense that they might win this one, but Chell, in the end, is able to find the angle and hits the headshot sharp as well. So it was touch and go for a moment, but Rooster do get through the round.
Only DPR with enough, actually saving the exact amount of cash he needed for a glass cannon AWP. So it's going to be a re-up once again. Half by around a glass cannon this time around. Maybe the AWP can be a bit of a difference maker here. It's going to be difficult for Rooster to read. He would not be expecting an AWP in round number 12 here, so he definitely does have an opportunity to potentially catch someone a bit lackadaisical, maybe not playing around it. Charges across bridge, had 2 opportunities at a first pick there, but now Rooster are well and truly aware the AWP is in play. Aggression into B main here, but tucks directly under Rackham and found, unfortunate, another missed opportunity for Mindfreak where they need an early advantage.
nettik making a bit of noise, so Danger well aware of his position, but doesn't want to move away from the pillar. Has got the backup of a couple of teammates, but they're not looking in the right direction, and so in the end it'll come down to Supar to find the trades, and the MP9 is singing at this point. It is doing more than you'd expect,
Oh,
which has left Rooster reeling.
What do you do here? TJ just stuck in a corner. ASAP's got the A site. Triple man rotate through canal. I don't even know if TJ's been able to hear that, to be honest, as this util comes into A. So TJ knows he's more than likely got a free site plant, and ASAP, the more that he can pick up here, the easier he's going to make it for TJP. If he doesn't just win it himself, to be honest. Oh, almost got all three.
Yeah, and in the meanwhile, Supar still thinks that this might be an A plant, so he's going to have a look in there and see where that's going. Has recognized now that the bomb is planted over toward B.
No kit.
Obviously, TJP has had all the time in the world to get wherever he wanted. He's just decided to sit up on plat. But Supar, with 25 HP, should never win this one. It's going to take an unreal shot, and he's not even going to get to fire one. 7-5 will be the score for Rooster at the end of the first half. Well, back into the swing of things, 7-5 scoreline, somewhat reminiscent maybe of how things were playing out yesterday on Anubis, but Rooster looking a little bit better here. So we'll see if they can hold it down on the CT side. It has to be said, though, that CT is where they struggled yesterday, so maybe there's still something in this one for Mindfreak.
Yeah, and it was mostly on the gun rounds. Rooster won pistol anti-eco and then proceeded to lose 6 in a row. So see if they can make up for that, whether we are going to get a similar kind of story. 1-3-1 for Rooster, pushing through middle, getting a lot of info on bridge. How can ASAP do against a big A execute coming in, holding it solo?
Well, he's got the dualies, so you'd expect he should get himself 1 or 2 here. Just the one. Might have been turned away by that flash at an awkward time, but either way, a 1-for-1, it could definitely be worse for Rooster. It's not as if at least he got run over, but part of the mission has already proven successful for Mindfreak with that bomb plant going down. Good flash, gets them control of long. Unfortunately, not the kill onto Danger, who now is taking the fight into the players in cams, and Rackham will go down for that trouble. Triple heaven set up from Mindfreak here, and that's going to be charged down by TJP. I thought it was going to be nettik, really, but TJP pops 2 heads off with that USP. And that is Rooster, once again, winning that pistol.
Should be around 2 force in response from Mindfreak post-bomb plant, which I'm not sure they got last time around, unless they ecoed them in round 3. So bomb plant might be a bit of a differentiator between the last time. Galil armor comes out for Tux. They're very different individual performances we're seeing on the server. Tux has kind of been the standout for Mindfreak in the last little bit. This has been maybe one of his off maps, not something I've seen in a while, whereas Supar, like I said, statistically one of the weaker players, seems to be having an absolute barn burner today. Patience outside the bridge here for Mindfreak. Waiting out the initial sets of util. HE nade doesn't quite hit the mark, but almost certainly would have done a fair bit of damage there for TJP. Boost up over the top, Supar. Seeing if he can let Tux slip through the bridge smoke. Almost certain to run into the MP9 of TJ here, though.
Yeah, no supporting util means you're likely to see TJP get 1 and potentially a bit more than that as far as the damage is concerned. TJP done a pretty good job there in mid. You got smokes getting tossed in by Mindfreak. They don't want to slow things down. I don't mind seeing that, especially in Counter-Strike 2. His swing mentality, obviously quite beneficial. They still haven't been able to dislodge ASAP, and chelleos' position as well will prove to be too strong. He's cleaning up, really. ASAP and TJP softening the targets, but Chell's the one that's got 2. nettik and Racken might not have been super advised to have taken that fight through the smoke, because they've, well, it's given the round up now. It's nothing to be done for chelleos, and Supar saves the day with an ace.
They had, that's unreal. They had all the information as well to just go B. They'd seen both ASAP and chelleos, both in that A-long position. They still opt to just take the fights instead of reroute to B and set up a post plan over on the other side of the map. That tells you the level of confidence that Supar is playing with today, and the amount that he's feeling that his teammates, just hiding behind the wall, and he's just wide swinging both of the players on Rooster. Widely regarded to be one of the scariest teams aim-wise to play against. The impact that this man is having for Mindfreak is crazy. They break the CT side economy of Rooster, who, despite being double eco, opt not to force. They've got a bit of a scoreline lead here, so they know they have the time to just take a full save. Tux hearing all of these footsteps here. Gonna calm that across to the teammates, but despite that, still losing danger on bridge, and potentially Tux here as well. This one's getting expensive against a full eco, Jordan.
Yeah, it is. What is Rooster going to decide to do from here? Just save the guns, probably. Should be one more that they can find somewhere on the bridge in mid.
Oh, 100% be worth, though. Can
drop
one of those, drop one of those Galils across to ASAP, and you can actually buy a round earlier here. Farming 2 Galils with a full eco in this situation is actually kind of huge to continue to contest this game and just play the long game economically.
TJP's going to hang around and see what he can do. Not really risking much. And he might actually get an opportunity to fire a couple of shots off here, because Mindfreak have exited towards CT spawn. And there's TJP, but, well, he got one shot. And even if it were a headshot, it wouldn't have made much of a difference. So, in the end, still a pretty good result for Rooster. But Mindfreak have their first inroads as well into this second half, as the scoreline now finds itself at 8-7 and very much hanging in the balance.
He's just earlier time to buy with a whole lot more util than you'd usually be playing against in round number 16 here, given how this half has gone. So that's something that Mindfreak might have to keep in the back of their heads. You know, sometimes you do kind of change up your calling based on the fact that you're anticipating the CTs to have light util, to not have access to as many mollies to that nature. Harassment in middle from both teams, both chelleos as well as Rackham firing a lot of shots, but there's the flash timing, sending Tux on the entry straight into doors, and he's found success early on for Mindfreak.
TJP's going to want to do something about it. He thought about it. Ends up playing a little bit of a safer line. And now spotted out by Tux as well, so he's not interested in taking that fight anymore, and will have to cede control of mid back over to Mindfreak. In the meanwhile, though, push out from B main is going to give Rooster a bit of map control to counteract that which they lost.
Mindfreak are kind of second-guessing themselves here. The A split was looking very high percentage there, but now they've started to slow things down. They're a little disjointed, and this push is coming in over on A main side. But smoking off DPR, as well as Supar. Nettik's all the way on top of bridge. He's spotted out a player's foot, but I don't think he's actually seen it. Finds Tux in middle nonetheless, evening up the numbers, and it's great info now for Rooster, who know there's no one towards B. Although they're second-guessing that. Nettik's still scrambling back across to the B site, but after he sees that no one's over there, surely this should be the A stack with a little bit of an eye on bridge. Great time molly there for TJP. Will actually make some sound cues.
Yeah, but Rackham's also running over to B. I don't think Rooster read it quite as well as he thought that they did. They do manage at least to get that info early. TJP with that kill onto Supar has provided enough time for the CTs to get back into the site. ASAP will lose his life. It's not as easy as it could have been for Rooster, but they do keep two guns alive and find that ninth.
Yeah, they were so active and so mobile around the map, looking for picks, that they kind of second-guessed themselves that they'd been timed back across bridge or something of that nature. But at the end of the day, it still works out for Rooster. Mindfreak, do they buy here? Their money's a little bit all over the place. I think they're opting for a half buy with a Hero AK on 4x. That round got close. You can see the money is quite shaky on the side of Rooster. There is a chance to just chip in some economic damage in a round like this and play up into round number 18 for Mindfreak. But this is definitely not going as easily as the last time they played against Anubis against this roster.
A little bit of a slower approach from Mindfreak this time around. Just the Hero AK for 4x. He's going to have to try to find something. Tux does have a flash to set him up. And it's going to be Tux that's leading the charge, actually. Not really so much of a charge. It's a slow creep across the bridge. Either way, that's going to be the util loss, plus the bomb. Fairly irretrievable C4 as well.
Anything more than this is just extra here with the Deke and the AK. Not interested really in retrieving the bomb anytime soon, I don't think. More so just looking to try to get some picks, take whatever they can away for Rooster before they look towards that next gun round.
Well, that's a sharp shot from Danger. It's one way to retrieve the C4. Nettik's being pretty active here, so should be able to help out either side, depending on where Mindfreak decide to go. And if they drop off the bridge, then he'll be ready to find him there. Mindfreak really waiting that timer down, though. They've got 15 seconds. They're going to have to start hot-footing it, and that's going to be the information. As you say, the molly pretty much is going to win the round there for Rooster in the end, and Mindfreak just took a little bit too long.
That's fine, though, looking at the cash that both of these players have and the fact that they got 2 more kills at the end of the round. This is actually a great result for Mindfreak. All picked up, as well as the AK with plenty of cash to reinvest. They're going to get a full buy no matter which way you swing it. And taking 3 guns away from a economically shaky Rooster is actually a very, very good position to be in here for Mindfreak. But they've got to be able to convert one of these next couple of gun rounds. 1,400 loss bonus for Rooster. Not a whole lot of cash to fall back on. This could be the difference maker for Mindfreak to try to cause another upset here. They cannot let this opportunity go by the wayside. Molly, bridge for the side of Rooster. Progression, smoke over to house. It's a 3-1-1 for the CT side here. Leaning much more heavily towards B. And Mindfreak on their side of things are actually exploring over towards water, maybe looking for an AWP pick towards E-box, but as the smoke goes down, DPR Going to start to consider other options now.
Not a lot of moving and shaking from Mindfreak at the moment. Supar just going to look for a bit of control in A long. Getting this job done solo. It's not going to cost him his life, so call that a win for Mindfreak.
Still a fair bit of util here for Rooster, who actually retake A main with the util set there from ASAP. Smoke towards the end and a molly on in there to clear out the lurk. Molly for Chelleos on E-box could help to segment this push. Throw it on a little early, actually. So Mindfreak could just actually wait out that initial piece of util and now kick off their B split. But there's already 3 CTs here from Rooster.
Backman's being very patient. That Molotov going to cause some problems for him. But luckily he's got chelleos and nettik there to save the day. 2 kills for both. That is a well-held B site so far. DPR can't do anything more. Starting to look a little bit more difficult for Mindfreak today than it did yesterday, and Rooster charging towards a map 1 victory.
Yeah, with 2.4 loss bonus and no bomb plant there, Jordan. That is a reset for Mindfreak. That round number 18, was absolutely critical. That was a swing round for either side. And I think Rooster winning that have just put the game on a silver platter for themselves. Love to see chelleos' POV there. I'm pretty sure he spams 2 players B main side through a smoke or maybe over a little bit of a one-way, something of that nature. That made all the difference in holding the B site down there in a critical round. HE Nate stack on the house here. They're sick of getting bullied by TJP, but he still won't go down. Barely gets tickled. The Glock, however, is looking way more dangerous than 5 days.
ASAP. Long spray down with the M4 is going to prove successful for the kill on the Supar. He's got 10 bullets left. Not sure that's going to really help him too much because there's a lot of players headed in his direction. It's been retrieved actually by DPR, but that nade might do a number onto him. And so it's still not getting any easier for Mindfreak, but they're fighting hard. And they're finding the frags as well that they need to win this round. It's going to take some saving here by chelleos and Rackham. Bit of a softer kill there for Rackham to find, and then he gets a good one onto Tux. It starts to fall apart for Mindfreak, but Danger's there now with the M4. Defuse on, Chell, Binked, survives, and it's pain for Mindfreak. They can't quite stave off map point. 12-7 the scoreline.
Oh, that eco would have been so huge, that eco win. They have still, I mean, again, created an opportunity here to get themselves closer to double digits, but Rooster scraping through this one with some clutch play. A chance now again for Mindfreak to break that CT economy. Rooster do have the round buffer to recover from that, though. See what else Mindfreak had. They went 8-3 last time on their T side. Either Rooster figured them out much better today, or there's definitely some more depth there that they're just not quite realizing. Some pretty quiet performers on Mindfreak who are usually quite statistically solid, especially in this tournament, so bit of a slower start maybe than Mindfreak would have liked. A lot of players stacked up towards waterside here for Mindfreak. Set up A main, they just will drive straight through the smoke, and that works an absolute treat. Rooster not ready for that at all, and maybe have to just consider a save at this point. Their money is really not there, and they've still got, let's face it, another 4 map points to fall back on.
Well, could be worse for Rooster. Still got 3 guns at least. Plenty of time as well to recover. It's going to take Mindfreak a few rounds to really get into a threatening position. So I don't know that this is going to be the worst thing in the world for Rooster mentally. Obviously, they would have liked to have gotten that one over the line, finish it off 13-7 and start working on the second map, particularly given the fact that they'll also have to play another best of 3 after this one, assuming they win here. You do sort of want to keep these maps as clean as possible. And 2 guns go through, so yeah, look, still not amazing, but something to play within this round.
I think a force here around the 2 saved weapons. into single save and then buy around 10 most likely, although could just get the save. We'll see. No, there's the force. I think this is probably the best way to min-max your buys up until over the next 4 rounds. There's Chelleos putting himself with the AWP, looking for a pick towards A main here, which was the main point of contact in the last round. Flash going to push him off the line, tries to shoot one straight through it ASAP to follow up here, and it's the same story again there, Jordan. Double entry into A main with ease.
Definitely not over yet for Mindfreak. They recognize the importance of this map being their choice. And they're not going to go down without a fight.
It's definitely going to be something that Rooster have to keep in the backs of their heads, though. A main has been a bit of a weakness over the last few rounds. Obviously, this next round will be an anti-eco, so not going to be something that Rooster will be considering too heavily. But the following gun round, I'm keen to see what Rooster's setup is going to be, because they just continually getting double entry'd in A main right now, and it's kind of letting the game slip through their fingers. This one starting to get much more expensive for Mindfreak. A lot of guns lost at the end of the round. I mean, they have the cash to be able to replace them, and I can understand why they're trying to take the guns away from the CT side. But you have to also recognize the value of these kills is not just the guns lost for the T side, but also the fact that someone like Rackham, who now has 3k off the back of getting 3 or 4 kills at the end of that last round, he can now drop a rifle to one of the boys, and this is suddenly a buy round. Even if you didn't make this a buy round, he could have single saved into an AWP that they wouldn't have had access to, you know? So these small little increments in terms of plus 300s and getting a couple of exit kills at the end of the round can drastically change what you're able to put together.
Yeah, that's it. Mindfreak have been able to knock down the door a couple of times in a row. Chell lucky to be alive.
Oh boy. He's had a brush with death. Solo over on that side of the map. Not that he had a whole lot to lose, to be honest. Just a USP and some light armor to maybe pick up a gun from one of the boys. And this is what I was talking about. Look at Rooster. They've got double entry at A main 2 rounds in a row. It's a 4-man A stack with a smoke on B main. And Mindfreaks, look, read it well, 1-3-1. They go and they still conditioning Rooster even right now. Just some A main control taken, but with no real presence outside of a B main smoke and 1 player spotted on B and no presence at all towards middle, not even a smoke on bridge. You can tell Mindfreak are really sus on this one. They're now going to shift into a 3-1-1 and line up for a B exit. So I'm really liking the calling from Mindfreak in these last couple of rounds, and I can see why they had such a good streak on the T side last time on Anubis.
Yeah, indeed. Just have to wonder if they've given themselves a tad bit too much to do. You know, has this streak come a little bit too little too late? Still going to require another 2 in a row for them to make it to OT, and by that stage, obviously, Rooster has now started to recover their economy. They'll have a proper buy next round. I feel like we've been in a bit of a holding pattern the last couple.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the proper gun rounds to eventuate, and we can kind of carry on with the game. To be fair, though, Mindfreak have upheld their end of the bargain, ensuring that they get through these ones without too much undue pressure.
DJ's scurrying
it's
away.
time for a real test.
Oh, Chelleos trying to get an exit. There you go.
Like it too.
Might go down to the bomb for sure for danger. At the end of the day, all guns were chained. Trade 2 USBs to take 2 AKs away, but don't really end up with any different guns. So I'm not sure that really has a big impact on anything towards the tail end of this game. But finally, we find the gun round we were looking for. No AWP worth mentioning here for Rooster. It's going to have to be 5 rifle here. And with only 2.9 loss bonus, they lose this round, they're going to have Chell and Nettik on 3k. So should the early stages of this round not go well for Rooster, I would definitely be expecting them to save. Once again, DPR looking for that early AWP pick towards B main. Orlex making moves towards water. There's the HE native side of the smoke, and Nettik with the opening pick is massive for Rooster. This really puts the press on Mindfreak. Has Supar seen Chelleos push on through here? It seems like he's aware of it. There's the smoke as well. It's a massive sound cue for the man to know that there's a CT in this part of the map.
Shell's definitely been spotted here. He did check the corner, but barely landed a shot. Supar only taking a tickle for that one.
It's a weird situation to be in if you're Mindfreak. 1:10. They're so far pinned back across the map. Usually by this stage on the T side, you want to have some meaningful map control and start to think about what your mid to late round's looking like. So Mindfreak regrouping now, re-clearing the territory that was taken by the CTs earlier, and now once again going to go back to what worked before. Walk dry into A main. This time doesn't work well for Supar at all, and ASAP gets away scot-free.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting positions. Often feels like a one and done, but ASAP's managed to make it more than that. He's found 2, and TJP just hiding next to him. Certainly unexpected, and that's that. 13-10 in the blink of an eye. The map is over, and Mindfreak will be very disappointed to see that, because they would have felt that they were really mounting a bit of a comeback, but it ties back into what I was saying there. It's just that they've kind of given themselves a little bit too much to do, unfortunately, and had they had another 1 or 2 rounds to play with, I could have seen it happening, but